Bam, 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 boom! Hi, I'm Nightmare Porn. I just wanted to get one thing out of the way before we dive into this show. I'm not going to show my face or my voice. Not because I'm a cheapskate and don't have a camera. And also not because I don't want strangers to know who I am. That actually is not what I'm afraid of. What I'm not afraid of is, however, people I know finding out who I am. Okay, Lord. First episode is going to take a while. It's a fan fiction that I want to read. You know, it's about Squidward, okay? It's not going to be the format of the entire show either. You know, the entire series. It's not going to be in this format. So if you don't like this episode, you should come back later. I'll be doing more thought-provoking stuff later. It's fan fiction, you know? Fan fiction. It's called Insanely in Love by Alert Poison Tampon. For the record, Squidward didn't completely loathe SpongeBob. Cold white plaster, chipped paint, self-portrait shattered and crumbled in a corner of the ground, a corner Squidward had no need to see. The wall was reflecting in his eyes. It was a reflection upon reflection upon reflection. No longer was he the ideal of the ideal. Pronoun. Didn't even need a name. Squidward was man. Was every man and no man and some man. Did it matter? Cold, empty, in the ground. Squidward was different. Knew he verbalized such things, he would be mad, insane, crazy, speaking his mind. Minds weren't meant to be spoken. No, the mind was. Therapist. The rapist. Raping his mind. How could Squidward have expected the appreciation of advance of thought such as a man? Rapist. Therapist. The rapist. All that man has done was dull Squidward, placate him with the opaque dreams of the average man, believed to be reality. It was Squidward's curse to see the truth, see the world in one wall, the world so small, small in its meaninglessness, and sanity, and insanity. Fools. Would it truly matter to lose a drop? Had taken long enough to detox, enough to understand completely. The world could never see, would never accept. The world was too small, and Squidward was too large. SpongeBob. SpongeBob would have to be the world. Touch, sound, smell. The world did not know him, but he knew the world. The world was the wall, and the world was SpongeBob. A moment, a dance move in its own right, silent, eyes rolling, dry, frantic as they searched up. A symphony orchestra, all in his room. The world couldn't laugh, not like Squidward could. The world, SpongeBob, the world, the stars, the planets. The world was small, but SpongeBob was palpable, malleable, available. Squidward would show SpongeBob. SpongeBob was nothing more than a trick of the lighting, a shadow cast from Squidward's inner sanity. Yes, SpongeBob was everything wrong with the world, and right with the world. SpongeBob, soft, angelic, perfectly imperfect SpongeBob. Always showing up unwanted. Foolish, meditated Squidward had no use for the world, for the sponge, the world in the sponge in the world. Come for Squidward, come for his lessons in reality. SpongeBob, the world, awakening! Because as of now, his outsanity, SpongeBob, wasn't truly real. Squidward was the only real one in this world. And SpongeBob was nothing. Pain, something to ground himself in. And then after that, after the world shut down and SpongeBob became real, became sane inside, like Squidward himself, the world was nothing. A laughing, a talking, an eating, walking corpse. The world's puppet. Or was the world SpongeBob's puppet? Was SpongeBob to be Squidward's puppet? And the world had to awaken the world, had to awaken SpongeBob. SpongeBob, the world, everything. SpongeBob was everything. Fake. Now. But tonight. Tonight! Squidward would make him real. Tonight he'd give him flaws. Then Squidward would turn SpongeBob, turn the world into absolutely. SpongeBob's eyes were as he watched his friend prepare himself.
Yeah, sounds fun.
SpongeBob, I should go see Squidward. SpongeBob smiled to himself, looked down, kicking his feet slightly. The yellow boy forced a smile. Patrick paused in tying his tie. Wearing a tie despite he wasn't wearing a shirt, his eyes growing large. I'm sorry, Sponge,
I'm sorry, Sponge, I totally forgot.
Yeah, Pat agreed. SpongeBob fought the urge to tell his friend that the mermaid was only dating Patrick as a complicated means of defying her father. But of course, SpongeBob couldn't say anything like that. Not to his best friend. So instead, he continued to smile, face burning of the pain of holding in the same position. Oh, we will, Patrick chuckled. Huh?
Never mind. Hey, why don't you go and hang out with Squidward or something? That ought to keep you happy, right?
Gay guys tend to hang around Squidward, don't they? Patrick sure didn't know. Yeah, you're right. As if the sea star was any expert.
Right! SpongeBob smiled, always smiling, ever kind. She'll love you!
SpongeBob hugged the starfish, snuggling against the soft chest of his friend.
How could someone not love you, Pat?
I'm gonna go and hang out with Squidward. You and Mindy have fun tonight, Kay?
You and
Squidward have fun too. Patrick's mind flooded with various images of SpongeBob and Squidward having various sorts of fun in various positions all night long, variously.
Alright, bye.
SpongeBob extended the rock, skipping over to Easter Island Head. That was Squidward's home. Oh! He and Squidward would be having fun all right. More fun than SpongeBob would be able to handle.
Squidward! Squidward!
The young sponge yelled as he smiled brightly. A calm voice yelled back. The door slowly opened.
Squidward, I know you don't want me over, but...
The blue squid spoke quietly. Voice still calm, no hint of any silently locked the door, and he smiled proudly to himself, all suspicion thrown away, Squidward being kind to him. It was something that he'd never happened before. He looked around the room.
Hey, Squiddy, why are all your portraits knocked down?
Besides, the young boy couldn't defend himself when Squidward was ready to get him. He was simply too weak, too fragile. Squidward could easily and quickly overpower Sponge once he was ready.
SpongeBob, have you ever been hurt? Attacked?
Squidward asked as he made sure his voice sounded nonchalant. SpongeBob laughed nervously at this memory. Squidward sighed.
I mean, have you ever been attacked without planning it first?
You're joint would fall back into place.
Me eye! You cut out me eye!
Shit. His claws failed for a moment before Squidward shook the eye off and letting it, oh god damn it, letting the deflated cylindrically shaped skin dangle from the vines of Mr. Crab's socket as he used the blade of the knife to slice open Mr. Crab's wrists. Aloud, Squidward pushed Mr. Krabs down to his knees, enjoying the arthritic grinding of his joints almost as much as slicing his wrists. The cephalopod, feeling his dick rubbing and hardening before the oh my god. Okay, so basically he has sex with his eye socket. Crab's screams grew louder, and breathing oh my god. Okay, see, have you noticed how I stopped reading it dramatically? Because it stopped being good. That's why. It just started really good, but now this is just horrible.
I'd fuck you one more time and I'm gonna kill you.
Words came out bluntly, no emotion tied to them. Meanwhile, while Squidward was distracted, Squilliam around the room looking for anything to stop what should have been stopped a long time ago. Finally, his eyes laden on an unused gun at the end of the room. Oh, Jesus. He sighed lightly as he gripped on the bloody knife. SpongeBob glared at his neighbor solemnly. SpongeBob began to cry as he looked down. Squidward's head shot up and his eyes widened, knife falling from his hand. His knees silently moving his hands to the sudden stinging area on his back, only to feel thick liquid. The other squid let out a muffled, agonizing scream as he pulled the trigger a second time, a bullet thrusting into Squidward's chest. The squid fell on his face, still laughing hard. His breathing and laughter began to turn to gasps, which finally turned to giggles before stopping altogether. Swilliam ran to the other squid, aimed the gun at the other squid's head, and shot 4 more bullets before sobbing and falling down as well. After a long moment, he looked up at SpongeBob with glassy eyes, and took his hand cautiously and took him to the phone. SpongeBob understood.